My name is Michelle López, and I live in Miami, Florida, and I'm recently married and work for the church doing young adult ministry. The Blessed Mother is first off a mother to me, but second, in my life, she's been a really powerful witness of true and authentic femininity. Growing up, I had different role models of femininity, but really coming into the Catholic faith and learning about who Mary is and also rediscovering in her the truth of my femininity has been really powerful for me, especially coming from a culture where the people in the magazines, they say one thing about femininity, and for me, Our Lady has been the one that has showed me what it means to be a true woman, allowing the gifts and uniqueness of my femininity, body and soul, to really come to life, and to look to her to show me what it means to be a woman, to use my gifts for the glory of God and to build up others and to not be self-centered. So I think Our Lady has been really the role model for me for authentic femininity. The Rosary for me has been a really powerful weapon of prayer. And I say weapon just because in the beginning of my walk with the Lord, it came to me at a time of really asking for particular attentions that I needed for healing. And it was the way in which I learned Our Lady's kind of powerful intercession. And the Rosary since then has been especially a tool in contemplating the mysteries of Christ and drawing more closely to Jesus's heart, but through kind of looking at things through Mary's lens. And then also it's been a powerful weapon of intercessory prayer for myself and also for intentions that I have. So it's really a devotion that at particular times in my life has been just really powerful in giving me focus, and also I think increased my faith to really entrust things to Our Lady and know that she'll come through and helping me in my needs. I definitely think it's worth it to pray the Rosary. I know in the beginning of my walk it was really difficult because I really didn't know how to pray it. Besides, I knew I was repeating things over and over, but I didn't know I was supposed to be drawn into contemplation to meditate upon the mysteries. So the Rosary in the beginning was really hard and pretty boring, but learning more about how to really pray it and allow it to draw me deeper into meditating about Jesus's life has really helped to give focus to it. And I've read many quotes and stories about the saints using it as a means to draw closer to Christ, and so their example has really inspired me to allow the Rosary to become something that leads me to Jesus and isn't something boring and repetitive, but something that teaches me how to pray a little bit deeper. Although in the beginning it was really difficult, but I think for me, the more I practice it, the more it's become a source of really drawing me to Jesus's heart in a new way. One of the mysteries of the Rosary that has really spoken to me recently has been the baptism of Jesus in the Jordan River. And I think just because the Lord is focusing on my identity being renewed right now, and that mystery has been something like placing myself in Jesus's spot, to hear the Father say, "This is my beloved Son." So to me, to hear him say, "This is my beloved daughter," and that mystery has really helped me see like Jesus is taking the lead and growing in his own identity. That has helped me kind of place myself in the same spot of allowing the Father to speak that blessing over me as his daughter. I started to pray the Rosary when I was a freshman in college. At the end of that year, I kind of came back into the Catholic faith and got really involved in the campus ministry at the university. And I discovered the Rosary through kind of a search for wanting to know more about Mary and her role, and why I needed her in my life, because I was hearing that from everyone, but I was coming from a non-denominational church, and so her being an important intercessor didn't make sense to me in the beginning. But hearing of her powerful intercession in people's lives really inspired me to look more into her. And I learned about praying the Rosary actually through friends in the story of Fatima, which at first I called Fatima because I didn't even know how to pronounce the word Fatima. So it was really humbling, just learning more about the faith and realizing there was so much I didn't know, especially about Mary. And through the message of Fatima and her encouragement to pray the Rosary, and from friends that I really knew and trusted and were inspired by, I was seeing it being something that was powerful and part of their life. And so at that time I was going through just a lot of healing, inner healing, and also some particular things I needed to let go of. And I came across a novena, like a Rosary novena, and I did I think it was like a 64-day Rosary novena asking for a particular healing in my life, and I actually received it at the end. Our Lady was really, really good to me. And after that, I think I was so surprised and deeply grateful and humble that Our Lady came to my aid in that way, that afterwards I decided that I really needed her, and she showed up big time in my life. After that, I knew the Rosary would be a part of just my journey and knew it was for real. If I really trusted the Lord and Our Lady with my intentions, that they would come to my aid. And that's how I was introduced to the Rosary, was really through that kind of miraculous novena that I did, that she came to my rescue. I think the Rosary is a great devotion that can help people have a daily habit of prayer, and also an opportunity for them to rediscover the main mysteries of Jesus' life, to draw a little bit deeper into knowing who He is, as well as allowing His life to speak to their own life. So I think it's a powerful form of prayer for just people's personal journey, but as well as praying and interceding for the world and its needs. So to someone that would maybe say, well, I don't have time to pray the Rosary, my response would be, I've said that a million times. And for myself, I've gone through times of praying the Rosary and being very consistent, and then times where some other devotion has caught my attention and my heart, and then have gone back to it. So I've kind of gone through peaks and valleys of the Rosary being something daily in my life. But I know more and more, especially right now, I have a drive to work, and that has been an amazing blessing this past year of getting the opportunity of being in the car and using my time wisely to allow the Rosary to be part of my daily life. Although it's a faithful struggle, so it's hopefully daily, but sometimes I do have things that I do focus in my prayer more. But I know the Rosary is something that I encourage everyone to pray, and I think it's a helpful aid to really draw closer to Christ. I've received many special graces from praying the Rosary, and another time in my life I prayed a particular Rosary novena for an intention. It was for a really close friend of mine that was discerning a vocation and trying to figure out what God's call was for him. And I prayed this novena for him for that intention. And then a year and a half later, he ends up being my husband, which is really funny. But God has really used the Rosary in my life in different ways to really, I think, just offer my heart to Him, but also the needs of people that I love. And that's a beautiful gift that the Lord has given through Our Lady's hands. And it came through, the initial part came through really just praying solely for his heart and his vocation and wanting the best for him. I thought he was going to be maybe a priest or a religious person, but instead the Lord gave him as a gift to me, which is pretty sweet. The Rosary is definitely something that strengthens my faith, as well as kind of my daily commitment to follow Jesus and help me just allow the life of Christ to be something that comes to life, like in my own life. The mysteries really are helpful too, because they're joyful, they're sorrowful, they're luminous. Like, you got all of human experience covered. So the more that I do pray the Rosary, the more Jesus' life really speaks to my own kind of joys and sorrows and lights and everything that goes on in between.